All right, yo, community watch, community hit list. Ben Shapiro has come across the dashboard. I have been told that if I don't cover this, I will be shot. So I don't want to get shot or punched in the throat. So I'm gonna watch it because apparently there's a funny moment. I was told to watch from here.
A lot of criminal convictions routine. They've been attempting to get away from this. And so on the stage, they had Dr. Dre, who has been accused of multiple instances of violence against women, including assault of Dee Barnes, who's convicted in 1991. Quote,
can please. I shouldn't be 5 seconds into a video. I shouldn't be 5 seconds into a fucking video and I'm already ready to rage. Like, please make content that doesn't say shit like this. Can we all do ourselves a favor right now? Can we please, for the love of God, can we please stop bringing up black people's like criminal history whenever we talk about them? Like, can we just stop doing that? Like, can we still like Paradigm 28 smoked meth and shot somebody? Like, are you opening your conversation with that? Now you're speaking my language. I'm gonna give you a better follow notification. Thank you for the follow.
Is practicing socialism. Now did you die?
That's the loudest I've ever heard that. That's why I was listening. I was like, wait a minute. I've never actually listened to that. Can we not pretend for can we like stop pretending for a second that black people are only identifiable by their negative attributes? Like, what brings you to bring that up in regards to like people you like, but you don't ever were you not here for the last 5 years? Like, were you not here for the last times where we did all skip the whole thing? Did you skip the whole criminal family gig? I'm trying to walk you there. You're watching this and you're bothered by it because you sound moronic and fucking stupid. And I'm trying to be nice to you, but you open your mouth and say, this guy, who, by the way, is a fucking terrible human being. I hope you are a fucking saint if you do that shit. I hope when you talk about people like that, especially black people, I hope you are a fucking saint. Because it'd be y'all the first people to bring, like that reporter that brought up that shit to Mike Tyson. There we go. There we go. Y'all care for the examples. The reporter that brought that shit up about Mike Tyson. Ain't nobody talking about that. You talking about that because you a fucking piece of shit. Like, but that's the aggressive response. So, canceled.
People talk all this bleep, but you know, somebody F's with me, I'm going to F with them.
Is that not the right-winger's motto? What planet am I on? Who gave this guy all this money? Is it because he looks like that? Is that why? Is that why he has the fame? And 4.25 million subscribers? He just said something fucking dumb.
A woman named Michelle, who was the mother of one of his children, accused him of domestic violence. Another woman named Terry B. accused Dre of assaulting her. He was convicted in 1992 of battery of a police officer. He allegedly drove drunk in 1994.
Y'all be doing that at the fucking games. You be getting drunk in high school. White kids do that shit all the time. Saved by the Bell made a fucking episode about it. Why? What does that mean? Why are you reading his entire rap sheet? Are the rappers who talk about this shit not supposed to live that life? Don't we talk about people being posers? It's the shut up and dribble, but then it's not it's the shut up and dribble, and then it's the shut up and dribble, and then it's the shut up and dribble. You know what? I watched a funny ass TikTok. It was like, oh man. You know what? Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Bitch ass niggas, y'all niggas can't be
Mad loud. Can I get this full screen? No?
around here no more, dog. Skedaddle, get the fuck out of here. Skid fucking dad. Bitch ass niggas, y'all niggas can't be around here no more, dog. Skedaddle, get the fuck out of here. Skid fucking dad. Bitch ass niggas, y'all niggas can't be around here no more, dog. Skedaddle, get the fuck out of here.
Skedaddle, get that.
Bitch ass niggas, y'all niggas can't.
I will make that a sound. That's what I want to tell him. Like, y'all can't be around here no more. Skedaddle, skid fucking daddle.
Right now, he seems to have improved his life pretty dramatically, Dr. Dre. Although in 2016, Suge Knight accused Dre of a kill for
Why did you bring that up for?
higher plot. But let's just say that these are offenses that, in sort of a normal world, would get you canceled these days, right? Because
Oh my suck. It's like I want to have the Hassan Piker energy for this. But it's like you are an intellectual titan, Ben, and you just softball this shit right over the plate. And if this is scripted, oh man. If you thought and if it's not scripted, start scripting.
time is of no limit. When we go back 20, 30 years and find stuff about people and destroy them. But Dr. Dre was...
Y'all can't be around here no more. Skedaddle. Skid fucking daddle. Get the fuck out of here. Skedaddle. I just want to know. I have a desire. Oh my God, I'm gonna make a fucking reference. I'm muted? What? I'm muted? Oh, sorry, what? I don't know what's going on. Oh, you meant the video. I played it. Yeah, it was muted. Skedaddle. Skid fucking daddle. Oh, yeah. I gotta fix my fucking noise gate. I'm gonna do a whole audio test thing at some point because at this point, yo, I thought I had it once and it was working great. And then if I like get too loud, see, it'll like die out and cut down. Yeah, I gotta figure that shit out. Anyway, skip fucking battles. Like, what the fuck is this?
Leading this off as a great hero of the Republic. And then you had Snoop Dogg, who, of course, has been arrested for everything from cocaine possession to first and second degree murder. He was acquitted on
This is giving but her emails energy.
those charges, but arrested for them, to drug and firearm possession, to implication in a rape case. He wasn't arrested for that, but there was an implication that he was involved. He was last arrested in 2012 for possession. And Snoop Dogg, of course, is now a hero of our culture.
You know, I shouldn't even play this sound on stream because it's kind of fucked up. But it's the only reply a black person could give in this situation.
And by the way, in January, he cut a song that included the following lyrics. And I know it's always a risk when I read lyrics, so we're going to take this slowly. Okay, this is the following lyric. It was in January of this year. Quote, all you N-words out there, take your guns that you're using to shoot each other and start shooting these bitch-ass MFing police.
There is no God.
That'll impress a MFing N-word like me. That was like January. And here he is in the biggest cultural event in America in February, right, rapping at the center of the stage at the behest of a major American corporation. You got 50 Cent up there, who was arrested in 94 for cocaine trafficking, in 2003 for criminal possession of a weapon, for battery in 2004 for jumping into a crowd to go after a person who threw a water bottle at him. In 2000.
If this arc ends up with Ben Shapiro covering Ronnie Radke, I will swallow a paper cup of coffee live on stream. On everything.
2013 for 5 criminal charges, including 1 count of domestic abuse, domestic violence. And normally this stuff sort of gets you. I thought that this was bad. I thought that even according to the left, I thought this stuff was bad. No, not so much. You have Eminem, right? Who famously was sort of pre-canceled because of all of his lyrics, including ones about violence against his ex-wife and about raping his mom and about stabbing gay people. All of that sort of stuff is in his lyrics. But then he said that he didn't like Trump, and that of course, fixes everything. And of
Recovery. He wasn't there for recovery. Why are you covering pop culture shit and you weren't even there for it? Why are you covering pop culture shit and you weren't even there for it? Yeah, you fucking up my vibe, homie. You fucking up my vibe.
Of course, he was arrested twice in 2000 on gun charges. So you have to admire the power of the American capitalist system to ingest all of this radical stuff and then just vomit it back out as commercial selling stuff. His ex-wife and about raping his mom and about stabbing gay people. All of that sort of stuff is in his lyrics. But then he said that he didn't like Trump, and that of course, fixes everything. And, of course, he was arrested twice in 2000 on gun charges. So you have to admire the power of the American capitalist system to ingest all of this radical stuff and then just vomit it back out as commercial selling stuff, as the product that normal Americans will consume. It really is an amazing, amazing thing. I thought the best example of this last night was Eminem. So Eminem...
He's so fucking close to the point, and he just missed it by a fucking mile.
He kneels for a full minute in the middle of this halftime show. And he just kneels and puts his hand on his head for a full minute, right, to demonstrate that he is in touch with the Black Lives Matter movement and with the needs of black people. And it's so funny how the media pretend that this is somehow controversial now. It's so funny. So Eminem does this. And Deadline runs an entire piece, Deadline Hollywood. They run this entire piece. The NFL must have been shocked at this, shocked. And then the NFL came out with a statement. And their statement was, oh, no, he did this during rehearsal. We knew like the whole time that he was going to do this. So just to understand what the NFL did here. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick, a backup quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers who'd been benched for the immortal Blaine Gabbert because he sucks, he knelt for the national anthem on the basis, by the way, of a police shooting that apparently was justified.
Tell us how you really feel. What do you mean by that, bro? Racially motivated.
And this is after he wore socks that compared police to pigs and all of this. And this created a massive national controversy, right? The NFL got engulfed in it. Now, fast forward 6 years, and Eminem is kneeling for a full minute on the stage to the NFL's approval. The NFL is making money off the kneeling now. You
know what? Instead of me babying people, because there's already big streamers who are already baby people. We're gonna try this instead. We're gonna try a little educational assessment here. What is the central missing point in what he just said? I'm going to give you the answer because I am not pretending that I'm not in my house right now by myself, talking to myself effectively. But the answer is, could there have been a possible shift in the radicalization of the meaning of kneeling? And perhaps the underlying issue is so exorbitantly clear that perhaps at some fucking miracle of a moment, the NFL decided, wait a minute, we fucked up. Wait a minute, they did that when they brought Colin Kaepernick back. Now his skills, that's on him. But I wonder if they had a change of heart at some fucking point. I wonder if other people...
That's the power of capitalism, guys. It's so funny. The left thinks that they own the culture, and to a certain extent they do. Because when corporations ingest leftism and then spew it back out in a sort of sanitized form, people still ingest the leftism in a sanitized form. But there is something very, very humorous about the NFL, which was targeted with these protests, now taking the protests, spinning them around, and making cash off of them.
As if, okay, here's what I'm gonna go with. Let's do this the rational way. Let's do this the educational way. Let's do this the cool way, okay? Ben Shapiro, you are wrong for the following reason. If the artist decided not to do these gestures during the fucking Super Bowl halftime show, they still would have made the same money, sold the same tickets. It is not as if the audience was quite aware of the choreography of the performer in question, and since they didn't know, it wasn't going to make a difference to them what he did. Everybody had already been paid, everything was already running. Therefore, if they feel or treat this ideology as something now tolerable and understandable to not radicalize an audience into hating them or perhaps boycotting them or making articles about them or videos about them in which their decisions are morally wrong all of a sudden because they had a change of heart based on new fucking information, quite possibly, maybe, just maybe, you might be wrong on your assessment of the allowance of said gesture, and you have absolutely nothing else to talk about of any substance. And the reason why you have nothing to talk about of any substance is because you realize, just as much as everyone else does, that the way you discuss conservatism and the policies of which you denounce and the administrations of which you denounce and the things of which you denounce are actually just your little tiny fragile ego realizing that you are becoming out of place, out of touch, a refurbished old product of the 80s, living in a brand new computerized world, and you don't understand anything, and you are just effectively going to become the old Jewish man yelling at the corner, blaming the government for all of his misfortunes and deeds, and you will become the exact thing that you hate, a complainer about the system of which you supported and gave you all that money from the beginning.
There's something really highly hilarious about that. I mean, and this is the message, by the way, from, I would say, the mainstream.
I took that last line personal.
Political left. The mainstream political left will take radical messaging, they will ingest it, they will sanitize it, and then they will spew it back out there for money, which is why you saw in the end zone, and the NFL has been doing this for the last year, really since the Black Lives Matter stuff cropped up over George Floyd's, almost 2 years. They started putting at the end zone the words end racism on one side, and it takes all of us on the other, which of course ends racism. I mean, as we all know, if there's one thing that ends racism in the United States, it is putting the words end racism at the back of the end zone in an NFL game, because there are tons of just vicious white racists who are watching the NFL game. And until now, they're ready to go burn a cross on their black neighbor's lawn. But now they saw the words end racism at the back of the end zone. They're like, oh man, F racism. Racism's the worst now. I saw it said end racism in the back of the end zone. Roger Goodell tells me it's time to end race. And not only that, it takes all of us. Racism ended. Or alternatively, these corporations are playing you. If you're a radical leftist and you think that these people are your friends, they are playing you. And by the way, if you're on the right and you think these corporations are your friends, they're not. They're willing to use whatever is at hand. If they feel like they can make a buck off the woke by mirroring woke messaging, they will. They have no principles. They don't care. It's all about just making the money for them. That's all. And the Democratic Party is the same way. So right before the Super Bowl, Joe Biden went on national TV because we have this dumb tradition where the president of the United States hijacks this giant cultural event and does these interviews. By the way, I love the fact that we are still
As if like we haven't always done that. What the fuck, bro?
social distancing. So we've got Joe Biden sitting 83 feet away from Lester Holt. Okay, before.
All right. All right. All right.
Shut the hell up! Shut up! Shut up!